Well, you are watching or listening to the Holistic Travel Nurse podcast. Thanks for listening. In this episode, I have Aparna on. She's had, I think, like over 15 years or more helping parents and dealing with, you have many years of education in the department when it comes to dealing with parents and children education. And so you have a variety of issues that you've helped parents and children with. And she's incorporated essential oils to part of her practice now, and has found, she's going to tell us about her story in incorporating essential oils to part of her everyday practice and her parent coach business. And so if you need help with parenting, and we'll put it all in the show notes. And this is an important conversation, especially as we're recording this in May, and it's been people weeks locked in with their children right now, and parents that are just like at their wits' ends, and trying to be a full-time mom and now a teacher, and it's got to be overwhelming. I've only done it once. I don't, and I'm blessed that I don't have any children stuck right now with me, but I understand that moms that do. So tell us how you. Go back story a little bit, how you got into the education part and how you decided to help with parents, and then how you got oils incorporated.
Yeah, so my name's Aparna. I'm the founder of Beauty in Parenting. I'm a parent coach, a motivational speaker, a meditation teacher, and an essential oils educator. And I've been, as Naomi said, I've been working for the past 15 years with families, pretty much since my teens. I started out volunteering at a local United Way, helping families who were impoverished, helping them to find local community resources. And then I went on to study psychology, study social work, and work in a lot of children's hospitals, preschools with pretty much infants through 4 or 5-year-olds, and also nonprofits like a Boys and Girls Club, after school programs, a child advocacy center, a lot of children who, so basically babies through 25-year-olds, children who were dealing with a lot of different stresses, and families that were dealing with a lot of different stresses at different income levels. And so I really studied the fact that a lot happens in early childhood in terms of, social development, emotional development. And so my main area of expertise with being a parent coach now, and I've been a parent coach for the past 3 years, and also an oils educator, they started around the same time, is to help parents of babies, toddlers, and teenagers and their families to self-regulate, to take care of themselves, to emotionally express themselves, and find ways to communicate within the family household that feels really good and loving and compassionate and isn't so much drama. So right now, with what's going on for the past, 10, 12 weeks, a lot of people being at home, a lot of families being at home, a lot of children being homeschooled, there's a lot of stress with that whole situation. And we are searching for ways to obviously spend more time outside of the house, but take care of our well-being, take care of our mental and physical well-being, and just not lose it, in some sense too. And so for me as a parent coach, I sit there and I'm very present with the parent, and I there for their emotional support, but I find ways to help them have fun, help them get more creative, find suggesting a lot of different sensory activities that will work for that age range and that development and their skills. And also with the oils, it's so much fun for me to have consultations, to have people over. I wish I could do that right now and have people over to see the oils and smell them and try them, but to help a parent and send them samples and help them find oils that they love. So I'll send them a variety of different oils based on their needs, whether they have a baby who can't sleep or a toddler who is having a lot of meltdowns and needs some support on that level, or a teen who needs some emotional support. And so I myself use the doTERRA brand. I love other brands as well. And I basically educate others on the types of oils and the variety of ways that they can safely and effectively use them, especially as for families. too. They're always wondering what's safe. How do I use this, right? Is this going to work the best? And so parents are wanting, immediate solutions. They're wanting something that is worth their time and their money and their investment in the oils too. So I have always been a really huge fan of nature. We have tons of plants here, as Naomi can see, growing here in West Virginia. And I got into the oils, I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, where I was in a time of transition between jobs and moving back here to where I am in West Virginia. And my grandmother had just passed away. And so it was just a time where I was, it was between the time of my my last 9-to-5 job and becoming a parent coach, before creating and, launching my business, where I wanted to find some sense of direction, some sense of purpose. And so a friend, decided to, she's like, would you like to try some samples of oils? And so she sent me a lot of like invigorating citrusy oils to help me boost my spirits. And I ended up, of course, was like, yes, but I ended up loving them. And I actually went on a trip to Australia to visit family there for the first time. And it was my first time flying alone and also flying, across the world on my own. And so I was really excited to go, but really, really feeling anxious about it. And so I wanted something that's going to help with the time zones and the jet lag and feeling low and feeling fatigue and obviously staying focused, right? With a lot of layovers. So I took those little samples with me, took them to Australia and recovered from all the jet lag, and then used them as I came back. And then, I had a chat with her when I came back a couple months later. And I was like, I really love these and I want to, try out a couple of things. So I started trying out something like frankincense, which, was an all-purpose oil that is great for the skin, great to ground you and just, relieve any of those anxious feelings. And then I tried the Balance blend from doTERRA, those tree oils, because I came back around the winter time and wanted that, after coming back from Australia where it was summer, I wanted that sense of nature, right? It was pretty not as green when I came back. And so I wanted those tree oils. My body was craving that. And so those really helped me to just kind of ground my energy. And that was when I started having, now for the past 5 years, a meditation practice of my own. Something that worked for me, something to help me self-regulate. And, I started out with guided meditation, with starting, going on YouTube, trying out different programs and creating my own practice of what felt good to me, what would help me to sleep better at night, have deeper sleep, what would help me those mornings where I was stressed out, something didn't go right? Those mornings where I, didn't have the motivation, didn't have the focus to get creative. And so it's through that and having a huge practice now of singing, dancing, a lot of expressing myself, a lot of taking walks when I can, knowing that when I feel stuck or when I feel tired, I need to get up away from a screen, move my body, do something productive, write in a journal, just do something that isn't so, I want to say numbing for my brain when I'm staring at a screen, but isn't so making me feel as like stuck and as low too. And so knowing that I have those ways that are really short and potent to impact my well-being, I think is really, really crucial. So I've met a lot of parents and a lot of, not just parents, honestly, with the oils I work with. I've worked with university students here at West Virginia University who are in recovery. They're healing and in substance recovery and helping a lot of men especially find oils that just can help them in their own, creating a mindfulness practice for themselves too, as they connect back to their bodies and their minds and just do a lot of that kind of taking care of themselves, a lot of that well-being for themselves too. And so, yeah, that's where I wanted to start off and share a lot of that with you, Naomi.
That is so awesome. I mean, and especially right now, I think that what we can, there are so many parents that could be using this and on themselves to aid with the stress. I mean, I think of that video that went viral where that poor mom with the toddlers was locked in the bathroom eating Twizzlers. And she's like, they're out there. I can't go out there. Their toddlers are just like, right. And she has, I think, like a whole bunch of toddlers at home. And I'm like, I've been there. That mom,
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Right.
I was that mom. I was trying to self-soothe way before oils, and I was taking a bath and thought they were asleep. And the siblings duct tied their youngest one with duct tape. And I was like, how did they get the duct tape? How are these kids? And so they're so resourceful. And so I am like, and I have a job too, where I see it in my healthcare, in my job where I use them all the time for stress and anxiety, for my anxious feelings, and to help calm me down and keep my emotions intact. So they have to work beautifully when it comes to parents and children, and getting that balance where people need balance. And but even talk about how you do with babies and toddlers, though. How would you work with a mom with a baby and a toddler?
If they're local, then I'll bring them over, and it's really about, with the parents, it's really about offering them a variety of what's going to work for them, sending them samples. I basically, when I'm coaching, when I'm working either through messaging or, Zoom or on the phone, I have to intuitively listen to what I think they're going to need. So with babies, I go off of the most basic oils of, chamomile, lavender, frankincense, peppermint, those really, really gentle all-purpose oils. I don't stray from that. doTERRA does have a kids collection that is more for toddlers and up, 2 and 3 and up. It is heavily diluted, but always making sure that the parents of babies have some sort of carrier oil, or suggesting, besides coconut oil, argan oil, grapeseed, jojoba, something that they can use, or sending them a sample of that too, to making sure that they know how many drops to use, the ratios, where to use it on the body, if they're diffusing it, how many drops they can use, or what they may want to try and blend it with too. Mm-hmm. But just making sure that they and actually with any parent, not just parents of babies, showing them how they can test it on the skin. Using the inner elbow is a place that's always really works well for me and for others too, to test it for 12 to 24 hours, and making sure that's, and how to wipe it off too, with putting, what works best for me is putting coconut oil on the area, wiping it off, and then doing soap and water, because oil and water don't mix as well immediately. So just finding those ways that they can have a great experience, honestly, with the oils, and have those practical applications, so that it's not just sitting there, as something that they don't know how to use, right? And I want them to have fun with it too. And so just sending them things that I think they'll like. Not only just sending them what they are asking for, but sending them things like, I have jasmine oil here, which is my favorite. Sending them like a citrus oil or something else that's going to, that I think intuitively they would like to, based on what they need. Because anytime a parent's coming to me, I'm taking in that information of what they're needing, and also who they are and what's going on in their environment, what's going on at home too, and what they may need. Because a lot of times parents not only need some solutions for their children, they are really searching for something that they could use for themselves too. And I like to treat parents, especially mamas. I like to treat parents. Yeah.
Yes, it is the hardest job ever. It's just being a parent from infancy on, because you're the baby that will keep you up all night, and the whole thing. And then toddlers, it's a very hard job. And so self-care for parenting is so important and crucial. And so talk about a little bit, do you do any of the breath work with essential oils at all?
Yeah. So I have private breath work and combined breath work and guided meditation sessions. And so guided meditation is really fun. And these sessions can range from 30 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on your needs, or the package that you want to get. But I usually do these over the phone or through Zoom. A lot of times the initial session is on video to get to know the parent, and sometimes it's with the parent and child, but generally after that, it can be through phone. And if they want to use oils with it, it's optional, but With something like guided meditation, that's generally if they want to have a deep, relaxing experience, especially if they are not able to rest well at night, if they're going through something emotionally and just need to process that. With breath work, we are finding these 1 to 2 minute quick ways to relieve that stress in your body and to pause and taking that time to respond and not react so much to. And so especially with parents who have toddlers, it can be a lot of reactivity, right? As the children are learning to self-regulate. And so after being a toddler teacher for a number of years and working with a variety of different children who are having, experiencing a lot of different behavioral issues, emotional issues, taking that time to be really present to your child's needs and just really being there for them, taking time to slow down or finding ways where they can have those sensory activities where they're using their bodies and tapping into their fine motor skills and their gross motor skills and finding a sense of mindfulness through that, through being present to their activity and being present to their needs, or if they're needing that cuddle time or that comfort time, or just that presence of being there, doing that parallel play with their parent too. So that's a lot of what we have to deep dive into with the parent, especially with toddlers. I think that's one of, besides, babies and teens, I think working with the parents of toddlers is a lot of, it can be pretty complex with what's going on with the situation too. It's because they're at that really complex developmental stage where things can change pretty immediately, especially from like 2 to 3. And they're learning to walk and talk and all those things too. So to get back to your question with breath work, I have a 1-page PDF that parents can download on my website, a calming clarity guide. It's got here, it's a pink and blue sheet here, but it's got 4 different breathwork techniques and oil pairings that I suggest for parents to use different types of oils. Now, a lot of the blends that I share on here are doTERRA ones, as I am a doTERRA wellness advocate, but I share a lot of different types of oils too that parents can use. And so parents can always come to me parents or whomever, honestly, can come to me for a free 30-minute consultation for wellness, and we can go through we can go through any of these exercises, but how to recharge and just use these in a way that's going to help you the most. Because I can talk to one person about frankincense oil and they can really need it to ground their bodies, and and they just want to diffuse it and find ways to diffuse it and have that center on the house. Another person really wants to just massage it into their skin, and deciding between using a diluted roller ball versus the actual actual bottle of oil, and find what's the difference. Why should I get something like that versus another thing too? Or how could I use a different oil like cedar wood or a different tree oil besides frankincense too? And actually, honestly, going through I have the Emotions and Essential Oils book and a companion wheel, and I go through a lot of emotional properties with parents and non-parents too, because I can immediately tell who's like super interested in the oils, who's super interested in learning more about plants and Mother Nature, because it becomes really fascinating for them to learn, hey, this isn't just a scent that makes me feel good or makes me relax. This is something that can help me when I'm feeling this emotion or this way, or I want to feel this other certain way too. So with breath work, I have a body scan. I have something for releasing, an oil, a technique for releasing frustration, or a lovely blend on here too. So it's a lot of the basics of ways to breathe deeply, where you're inhaling an oil, or you're putting something on your putting a drop of oil in your hands, or placing it on a part of your body where you're just having that added level of aromatherapy that can really shift your mood right? They can shift your mood to something that's invigorating or really relaxing or just really supportive to you emotionally, whatever you're needing that day too. And so when I'm using these techniques, it's really fun to do a lot of role play and to practically show the parent how to use them so that they can also, show, keep practicing it for themselves, but also show their partner or, show their child how they're using this too, because especially with toddlers, they learn by example, right? So having that, and they really pick up on those things that keep their parents calm, keep mom and dad chill and relaxed too. So it's just really fun for me to sit here and there's a variety of options with a variety of oils and a variety of different techniques and ways that we can help parents to just recharge. My whole philosophy is self-care as a way to recharge and allow in more joy into your life, allow yourself to experience and feel more joy, which I think a lot of parents could really use that sense of joy and those ways to just relieve stress, and get that reassurance. Yeah.
If I would have had them when my kids were little, it would have been a game changer for everything, not just health, but absolutely for mood. And it's so funny you talked about Jasmine, because I had a situation with a patient and I did a aromatherapy massage on her hand just to bring the anxious feelings down. And and what I had on me for some reason in my pocket was Jasmine, and it was so effective. I've used different stuff, but it was the first time I used Jasmine in that setting. And it was
so that was for like a hand massage.
Wow,
it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Jasmine, we grow some jasmine plants here in the summer sometimes, but it's pretty rare to have jasmine around. So I love florals like magnolia for resting, and rose is beautiful for emotional support. But jasmine is just really exotic to me and really creative, and it makes me just feel really beautiful. And so I haven't thought to use jasmine before. Like I do massage it into like my neck and shoulders and like my heart area and, wrists and neck, but I've never thought to use it for a hand massage before. So that's really beautiful that scent helped the person that you're helping and that they liked it. And it's just, I've sent jasmine before to parents who have babies or teenagers, just because they love florals, and jasmine's one of those flowers, like I said, that you don't get to see very often too.
Oh, and my dogs love it. My dogs will lick it off me. I don't know why. With them, and actually my dog, it saved my rescue's dog's life.
Wow.
She was abandoned and she wouldn't go to anybody. And then Jasmine, and I happen to have all my oils with me when I found her, but I knew from experience with other dogs that they love Jasmine. So I put it on my hand and sat down and let her come to me. And it was a scent that she was calming to her and she liked. And so she actually came into my arms and let me touch her, and I was able to rescue her.
Yeah, it's one of those scents that it can be, I think it's both like dually really calming and really relaxing, but it can also be really like, wow, this is like really like uplifting and invigorating. This is like a new scent, right? It's like opening up some channels for me. So I know a lot of people, they'll create blends and perfumes and such like that. And I also, by the way, offer 5 different custom blends that I created a couple of years ago. This was when I was starting to work with the students here who are in recovery, and I noticed that they, I had a group meditation class with them, and I brought in a little, what I want to call a heart blend for emotional support that I'd created with jasmine, cardamom, rose, sandalwood, things like that. And I just brought it for my friends, and I was like, what do you guys think of this? And they loved it. We were working on the chakras at that time, the heart chakra. And so the chakras are these more spiritual energy centers of the bodies. And so we were working on emotional support at that time. That was something that they needed in their recovery. And so I decided to create some other blends that I thought that I intuitively just liked for rest and for grounding your energy, for mental focus, for physical energy. And I've been selling those for the past few years now on my website too. And so just having, those are all roller balls that are diluted, 10 milliliter roller balls that are diluted with the fractionated coconut oil. And I've been sending them to people around the country who are just wanting to try out a different, just a different blend of sorts, or try out a new oil in a different way that rather than, purchasing a full-size bottle of something, trying it in a different way too. And so people have, so since they're custom, people, sometimes want to have more drops of an oil in there and have like, that top note of the blend. I want to keep wanting to say perfume, but it's not a perfume in some sense, but having it, be customized to what they like too. So for a blend of grounding your energy, a friend of mine wanted more cedarwood and peppermint in there on some level, and less of, frankincense, and less of, I think I had a little bit of cardamom in there as well too. But just trying out oils in a new way is really fun for me. So I'm happy to just offer those to parents who are just wanting to experience oils in a different way too. And I actually send a custom blend to parents who decide to work with me for a package of parent coaching and things like that too for a long time, so that they have that for their self-care. If we're working on that, or even if we're not, they have that fun component of something that can practically, literally help them on their end too, especially if it's a virtual thing. I don't get to see them in person.
Yeah, it's all different right now. It's all different, and these are tools that I think needs to be in the hands of more parents and kids, and used safely, because it's high stress just on the kids not being able to, the ones that are in school, and then not to be around their friends and feel like they did something wrong, or the isolation part of that. And then that parent that is feeling overwhelmed with a loss of job right now, or the whole lifestyle just up, and then there's such a huge population of people that are experiencing this, a huge population of people that really could be benefit. Have you used any of the adaptive line right now for anyone? How have you been with the adaptive?
The adaptive line, I haven't used as much. I know that I do have the roller and the bottle of oil, and that's a blend that I just haven't, because it's a newer one, I just haven't had, especially in the past few months, I haven't been able to send out many samples and really, do a lot of deep development with my team and having them try out new things too, because everyone's on a different budget right now. But the adaptive blend is a beautiful one. Actually, back in October, when it was around the time it was introduced, I went to an event over here in the Pittsburgh area with the new products that doTERRA was coming out with. So I got to talk with a lot of other wellness advocates and get educated on the adaptive blend, and really smell it for the first time. And so that's when I, went home and purchased it. But I thought it was the most fascinating. It is the most, like, one of the most fascinating blends I've smelled, because it has that sweet gum. It has that magnolia. It's got just a variety of different scents that are really unusual and really layered. And so it's really grounding, and kind of like jasmine, it's a new scent for me. So it's a little bit like, wow, my brain's like, wow, what is this? But I know that it's helped a lot of people with their emotional support, with their well-being right now, with a lot of that mentally. So would you like to share a little bit, Naomi, about has that blend helped you or other people in other ways?
Nurses on the front line.
Yeah.
So that and the supplement. I have a fellow nurse who's going to come on here, who's been in the front lines and has helped other frontline workers who in the hospital system right now. It's not as bad, but it felt like a war zone walking in, and every single day there's been a policy change. And so nurses have been just a little stressed out, to put it nicely. with this. I mean, and having to manage whatever they have to manage. And am I going to have PPE today? Am I going to, I mean, I have the mask or the equipment that I need to do my job, or I have the drugs there for my own. I have one fellow nurse who went and bought a whole mask, a $270 mask. And so she was just putting the adaptive on people or giving them the adaptive supplement, and is enrolled other nurses because it's been that beneficial to the to those frontline workers right now in that situation. So if anyone's hearing that and is a frontline worker or wants to try that, it's something instant and amazing that has helped in those intense environments.
Do they where do the nurses like to put it on the skin? Or I imagine you don't diffuse it, right? But in the workplace.
No,
right?
So what's funny, because one of the hospitals that one of my friends who's going to come on, one of the hospitals is diffusing oils more, and they're literally doing it just for the staff, and they're doing citrus oils just for the staff and promotions. As far as if that's not enough, it's the wrist points.
Yeah.
Or behind the ear points with the roller, and then the supplementation. The supplement, if you have that, you are just like, and you get to that
processing.
Point, yes, you're just reacting and just feeling and the tension it will pick up on from other people too. That energy will come over from somebody else, or just the energy in the hospital itself is just was right now. It to me isn't as bad, but it's just even with everyone. And so my friend is walking around with a supplement and I'm just like, take one of these. Let me put oil on you, and it's effective.
Right.
So the same thing I'm thinking if a parent does that, or things would escalate because we're not doing enough self-care every single day, or doing something that we're like,
if we're spending too much time in the house, the weather's not great, or something's going on financially, or anything comes up. I know that the pandemic right now has affected my family in many different ways too. We've had to push back a wedding in the family of my sibling, and a lot of other travel restrictions and things like that as well. So it creates a lot of long-term stress over and over again. Things are much better right now, but I can only imagine in a hospital setting, you're around people all the time, right? It's a stressful environment. You need to be on your feet, literally, and not literally, but you're just, and I'm thinking back to when I was in children's hospitals, and just the just needing that kind of, really needing that support, because everything's a day-to-day thing, right? You never know what's going to happen. And so having that sense of something outside, that sensory tool, something outside of yourself that's going to just help you to cope, right?
Yes.
To cope and process things. And obviously I can imagine that the adaptive blend or other oils can be helpful to just help you find that sense of rest that your body is needing. So with breath work and with meditation, I'm finding right now, it's a lot of, even for me in my practice, just settling into my body and helping me to just get that deeper level of rest at nighttime, or that deeper nap time when I need to, right? If I had a day where I haven't slept as well, and everything too. And so when I'm feeling that sense of safety and comfort and reassurance in my body, that sense of, really being connected and there for myself, it's way easier to make decisions in life, honestly.
Yeah. I absolutely, I totally agree. And it's so hard because sometimes, and the bad thing that I think is that sometimes it's easy for that negativity to cycle over and over in our head, and we have to physically do something. And that's why I think the oils work great with interruption. If you use them as an interruption to that cycle that's going off in the head, and you use that scent and that chemical constituent, which is all natural, to interrupt that. And it's
such a beautiful pivot point too, right? Yeah. Because we can be in our head with so many thoughts and so many stressful things. And it's just like, oh wait, this is a thing, right? This is a thing that it's helping me to feel good, It's helping me to feel better. You know, now I'm able to like focus more. Now I'm able to remember that thing that I forgot about, or just really be there for someone who's trying to talk to me. And you know, I can imagine, I mean, nurses, doctors, staff line, staff and frontline workers, just seeing so many different people throughout the day, right? Having to remember so many different things about each person, having to remember to probably like stop and take a pee break, stop and eat in your day, stop and sit if you get the chance to. Remembering those important things of remembering and to, you know, say hi to somebody, to stop and thank somebody or receive that thank you, and really be there for somebody is really, it's just really, really, it's really, really beautiful and really powerful. The ways that we can shift from our stress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this time it's so important. I want to, now I have to ask, because I ask everybody who's possibly doing doTERRA as a business. Now, has a business part of it, what was your deciding factor to get into doTERRA as the business part?
I ended up having a coach that I was working with, for a life and business coach that I was working with when I was in that time of transition before I launched my business. And he is, he's a doTERRA, at least a silver now. He may be more, but he was just somebody who I wanted to really learn a lot more about the oils from him, with helping me with my well-being at that time too. And so his upline, our upline, is a mom who's also a yoga meditation teacher, who is also somebody who was in recovery. And so back when I started my doTERRA business, I was really working weekly with the students here, volunteering my time of doing a deep, intensive journaling class with them weekly, using the oils, introducing them to ways that they can be more mindful. So having those uplines that were directly able to assist me with my life, with my business, with ways that I could help others, and building that sense of community, and now having a huge community of especially women, a lot of men, but especially women from all over the world, who some of them are parents, but some of them are just all holistically working to help others to just, you know, to feel good, and to use natural products to do things like clean and in their cooking, in their well-being, just taking care of themselves was really inspirational to me too. So that's just been a really huge boon of having that sense of community, that even if, like, you know, with my business right now, I mean, things have lulled for a little bit, as I mentioned, for the past few months, just in the ways I'm able to access people and really show up. But I am developing deeper relationships with the people who are on my team as we come together and have that stronger interpersonal connection as well too. But that doesn't stop me from sharing and trying on new things, of course, and still being there and showing up for parents in sessions and with introducing them to breathwork and things like that. But I think that, yeah, having that sense of community is a really huge boon. I have that in my parent coaching on a very separate level, but having those people to connect with, even if it's just a friend who is needing an oil for something, right? Just wanting to learn more about natural solutions, I think is really powerful for me too. So I'm just super grateful for that.
Yeah, and the person I was just talking to before was thinking, if she didn't have the business right now, she'd be in a big financial issue, because her regular job she wouldn't be able to go do.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if it's the same thing with you.
Yeah, I mean, it is a you know, with doTERRA, it is still a side income for me too, but it's been way more fun as well to not only grow my business, but also I'm reaching parents worldwide and families worldwide, and finding new ways to help them to understand the variety of ways that they can use oils, besides just, here's a lavender for your diffuser, right? It just goes beyond all of that. So it's always something that's, you know, with the business and with growing any kind of business, it's what's going to keep you connected daily, what's going to help you to wake up daily and feel that sense of connection and excitement to what you're growing and to what you're passionate about. So if I'm not using oils, or if I had to stop using oils, I mean, it's a huge part of my mental and physical well-being right now. As well. It's a huge part of my hygiene and my cleaning products. And I have fun cleaning now. I have fun doing a lot of things around the house that I couldn't stand or were actually like making me not feel well. So it's finding, those practices that really keep us coming back to ourselves. And so I have a lot of visions for my own business and with growth and reaching more people. It's beautiful to have people, I have people in Europe, I have people in Canada, a lot of people over
in India soon. We hope the India market will open.
I hope so. I have a lot of Indian friends and family who
I have listeners from India on my podcast.
Love the oils. It's really, I wish they could all have the jasmine oil too. I'm sure they're loving it. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's been a beautiful way for me to especially the sourcing of oils has always been super fascinating. The humanitarian aspect, I've donated to a lot of different causes of teen girls in Kenya, helping through my larger oil team, my larger oil community, we're helping people, therapy offices and children in Russia, people just all over who could use it. The Healing Hands Foundation, I just donated more to them yesterday, and just finding those little ways that I can give back.
Yeah. I know. I plan to go on. I would love to do a mission trip with them and be hands-on in a way, but it is an incredible opportunity. The sourcing of doTERRA's essential oils, if you don't know about that, I will put that on the show notes, because it's very, very unique compared to anybody else. And it's very, very unique to what their integrity is, to how they source, how they test, how they put things on the market. And right now, and it's cool to be part of a company that, yes, we're still doing very well. Yeah. Matter of fact, so many products are like, okay, you only can buy one of this right now a month, or I mean, because we want to make sure everybody can get what they need to get, which is just unique. And it's cool to be a part of this huge community of people that are way one force and making a huge global difference worldwide. And
that's always, I've always been drawn to that. I have on my website, when I was, I remember writing a blog years ago about why I chose doTERRA, working on my why. My why has always been to obviously help families take care of themselves with their self-care aspect. But, and writing down, how much I love the humanitarian aspect, how much I love the co-impact sourcing that doTERRA has, and the variety of ways that they are helping and compensating and really helping their laborers, the workers in other countries to thrive. And so seeing those sourcing videos, seeing the ways that doTERRA is able to give back even to frontline workers right now with kits and things like that, it warms my heart. It really, really warms my heart. It's one of the most beautiful companies I've ever worked for or partnered with, because I've never had an experience, even when I go to events or summits. I've traveled to, DC, New York, and things like that too, to see other people on my team, to see my upline leaders, and just, I've never had a bad experience. I've never had an experience that left me questioning anything. Everything's just filled with love and genuineness and compassion, and it's just super beautiful.
Yeah, and you and I are even on the same team, and it does not seem to, it will not matter. There's more than enough people for both of us to fill up our teams that need oils. And there's no competition. And there is a let's work together in helping people. And that's the part of doTERRA that is so unique compared to anybody other direct selling companies. And it's
you make it your own. You make it your own, right? I mean, I think when I was starting my business with both businesses at the same time, I was doing things in a really, I was probably trying to, looking to other people for inspiration. Okay, how should I share what I love, right? But then really realizing that, hey, this is how I specifically can impact people. This is the best way that I can do it. This is what I love sharing about. And there's no shame in sharing in the ways that feel good to you and that are unique to you. I have no trouble doing interviews like this where I'm sharing also with helping families, but also sharing that I've helped others in recovery. It's because it's a beautiful thing. It's impacting them in ways that are really positive. It brings tears to my eyes even talking about it, but just it's helping people to feel that sense of connection and joy and relate to Mother Nature, especially if you can't get outside as much, right? I'm so blessed to be here in the mountains, and I know I recognize that's a privilege in some sense, but having those ways where you can connect back to something that makes you feel really good, I think it's just a huge boon. Having a company, having a community, having that connection to myself that feels really good, I think it's the most impactful thing for me.
Yeah. So when I write in my journal and I write my gratitude, it's really almost, I'm like, gosh, I write too much about the oils. It's in there so much. If you were going to like look at my list, because I'm a list maker, and when I want to journal and I want to really list, I'm like, okay, I can't see the oils anymore because I'm like, but man, my oil experience last night.
You need like a whole separate oil gratitude journal for yourself.
Yeah, maybe that's what I
adaptive chapter.
Because I need to maybe write the specific oil that I'm thankful for today. Maybe it's oils. So hey, there's a tip. Okay. Because I mean, we can just say whatever, I slept well, or this is happening with my life, and this is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that my family's safe, and that there's so much. And then when we start with that, there's so many times it's so easy for me to write the easy things. It's actually, you have to dive deeper to the other grateful things. You have to get in and go, oh, there's so much more that I can be specific and target and be thankful for.
Yeah.
But it has been those things. It has been, hey, my deep blue last night.
Yeah.
But or it could be, maybe we'll start writing specifics about what particular thing, because, and the concept of, what, right now, I think it's a very, we should be able to give back. And, I made roller balls for, frontline workers and other nurses because I'm like, dude, you need
We're giving out like hand sanitizers, gifting that to people. Like the hand sanitizer I never get to talk about it. I'm glad I get to talk about it right now, but I never get to share about it on interviews. But like the hand sanitizer is such a game changer. My family who, I travel with and things like that too. And at first they weren't as into the oils, but because it's there and I use it all the time, they smell it and they know it's there. But the hand sanitizer has been just such a huge boon. It's just so ingenious, just having that, especially with that apple extract that helps you to moisturize your skin as well too. Like we've taken so many road trips where having that with rest areas and gas stations and places where, especially now where, we're stocking up on it, but just having that thing that just like, it smells good. Everyone just like loves the scent, and it's just, it's not sticky, and it's just a nice thing to have around and to keep around too. And so having those ways where people like my family can use the oils, maybe not in a traditional sense of rolling on a roller ball every day or diffusing something, but just like using these natural products that they can trust and they love. And that's just it. Like, it's just like, they know it's helping them too on that sense. I think it's really
beautiful. It took me a long time to get my parents on, my mom on board. My dad was on board right away, but my mom, to get her on board, and now she keeps giving them to people. I'm like, Mom, you just gave your whole bottle. Okay, what? Because she's like, well, they love them and they're effective, and and she lives in a mobile home senior citizen area where she can bless her neighbors, and so she does, and that's the beauty of it, because it's doTERRA's loyalty reward monthly program.
I was just gonna say that.
Product. Yes. Yeah. That it's really easy to, if you save up your points, to give just other people. And
I've gifted things to other people on my team who are like in Europe, other builders, like just surprising them using and doing that. I've obviously spent points on gifting like little kits to mamas, or just gifting sanitizers to other people, or just whatever, like an oil or a roller ball or something, like an On Guard touch to a parent who has many children, who just really one of the cutest things is finding out that like, especially like the younger children, toddlers, they love the sensation of the roller ball too, especially on their body, on their spines, to help them sleep, and just finding those little unique things that, you know, hey, I thought that you would like this blend and this scent, but you actually just like the sensation of just like having that on your skin is really, really cute. And so one of the last things I want to share is that we're talking about gratitude journaling and things like that, which I love. I love to do something on Sunday nights, especially as I'm thinking about my work week. And you can do this whenever, where I'm writing down an excitement list that is a little bit separate from my gratitude list.
Ooh,
I'm writing down things that excite me for my week, and that helps me to, and right now I actually have a huge list of things I keep adding to.
I love that idea.
Week, and then I put it on like a blank flashcard, and just use the front and back each week, but just taping it actually to my mirror when I'm getting ready in the morning. And so I'm seeing these things that are exciting me for my week and for my day, and just writing them in chronological order, not like putting, you know, anything else on there. It's things like I get to talk to this person, I'm having this, you know, this meeting, I'm like these chocolates that I ordered that are coming in today, like fun little things like that. And it gets me really energized for my week. A gratitude list is super beautiful. And it can be really used when we need that emotional support. But an excitement list, I think, has been a really big game changer for my business, for my life. And I always set an intention. I usually have like on Motivation Monday hashtag, like I'll start with like some blend like citrus bliss or citrus bloom or balance or peace or some sort of oil intention for my week. Or you could do this daily or whenever you need to. But just that sense of intention. Do I need more calm today? Do I need more creativity? Do I need more mental focus? Do I need more physical support or emotional support? So having that, these, even like the names of like the kids collection, brave, you know, steady, stronger, those kinds of things where we can learn and have those one word intentions is a huge game changer, because our lives ebb and flow and our daily focus ebbs and flows.
How many things do you try to list on your excitement list? And you do it for the week?
For the week, I do them for the week. I write down, sometimes it's like 5 to 7 things. Sometimes it's like 15 things. I got a lot going on. And so that way I don't try to keep a certain number. I just try, and some weeks, honestly, I'm like, I don't have a lot to be excited about, but I still have something. And some weeks it's like I keep adding on to it. So it's just like about finding, and so sometimes it's a lot of business related things. Sometimes it's a lot of like, hey, I get to check in with somebody, or it's like just a reminder for me of like, hey, I should check in with this person, or do this thing, or take a trip to the store, or get flowers or something like that.
That is awesome. I'm going to end it on that note. I am going to add that. I wrote it down because I'm going to teach that and share that note, because the gratitude is great, but then the excitement part, that is so cool. Because
in a workplace setting, I remember being in schools and we would have like the bulletin boards in our faculty lounge and things like that. In a workplace setting, like a hospital or wherever, if you have like a bulletin board of like, you know, work-related things, you could have a nice little bulletin board of like, I know a lot of offices do like health-related challenges and fitness and things like that. Having an excitement list, you could do that once a week, or you could put it together and talk about it when you have your weekly whenever meeting. Talking about, just taking a moment to talk about, going around and talking about things you're grateful for, things you're excited about, really is a huge game changer for your mind. It really, really is. And so that's kind of like an immune system support boost for you in just getting you out of those places where you're feeling stuck too.
Ooh, that's so good. Thank you so much for being on the call. I've gotten a lot of ideas, and personally, and then your inspiration for what you're doing. And I really think both of those, helping people recover from any addiction if possible, and then also any parents out there and kids need this so bad. This needs to be on your need list, not your want list. This needs to be a priority in your life, not a luxury. It will make that much of a change in your life if you work with someone who really will help you.
There are so many ways where you can, try oils and, use samples and try a blend, or just try out an oil in a way that can be cost effective to you too. So like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to Naomi or me or anyone else, and we're here to help you and support you and find ways where you can experience the oils in ways that will benefit you the most, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And by the way, you can, if anybody wants to reach out to me for a free consultation, for coaching, breath work, mindfulness, oils, you can visit beautyinparenting.com, and all the information is there.
She has a great Instagram. Please follow her on Instagram too.
Thank you.
Lots of uplifting stuff.
At Beauty and Parenting, yeah. Thank you so much.
To both of them, yes. Yeah, I'll check out some of your blog posts. I have my own blog too. So it's very, very cool. So I'm going to hit end.